When I was fresh out of high school, I landed a job at a major home improvement store. I had applied to several jobs, but it was only after multiple interviews and endless waiting that I finally got hired for the grand opening. I was eager to start my career, but little did I know what I was getting myself into. The first few weeks on the job were exciting. We received our new hire paperwork, and we were told that we would be trained in our respective departments. However, as the days went by, I began to realize that the training was inadequate. It was just a brief orientation that did not prepare us for the work we were expected to do. I soon discovered that this was a common problem among the new hires. We were all in the same boat, learning as we went. The lack of proper training was frustrating, but we tried to make the best of it. We were all in it together, and we supported each other through the challenges. 3 months into the job, I noticed a change in the management's behavior towards the new hires. They seemed to be unhappy with the number of employees they had hired, and no one was quitting. The store had a policy of paying their employees well, which made it hard to find new employees, but the management had a plan to deal with it. One day, I overheard the manager telling the department heads to push the new hires as hard as they could. They wanted to get at least a third of the new hires to quit. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was angry and disappointed. The work environment became unbearable after that. The department head in my section was particularly ruthless. She was rude and unapproachable, and she would yell at us if we made any mistakes. The work hours were long, and the workload was too much to handle. I began to dread going to work every day. It was during this time that I developed anxiety, and I would vomit before going to work. I would try to calm myself down by taking deep breaths and listening to music, but nothing seemed to work. I felt like I was stuck in a job that was slowly draining the life out of me. One day, I was scheduled to cover flooring, decor, and paint by myself. I knew it was impossible to handle all 3 sections alone, but I didn't want to give up. I tried my best to manage, but it was too much to handle. I felt like I was drowning, and there was no one to help me. During my lunch break, I called my best friend and told her about my situation. She listened patiently and offered me some advice. "You don't have to put up with this," she said. "You deserve better than this. You should quit." At first, I was hesitant. I had never quit a job before, and I didn't want to let my coworkers down. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that my friend was right. I deserved better than this, and I didn't have to put up with the abuse any longer. After lunch, I walked up to the department head and handed her my badge. "I quit," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She looked surprised, but didn't say anything. I walked out of the store, feeling a mix of emotions. I was relieved that I had finally stood up for myself, but I was also worried about what the future held. In the days that followed, I applied to several other jobs. I was anxious about finding work, but I knew that I had made the right decision. Eventually, I landed a job at a small local business, where the work environment was much better. My coworkers were friendly and supportive, and I was a much happier person. Like, follow, and comment for more daily stories.